Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hello,
Thanks
to
for
meet
having
you.
me.
Of course. My name's Lara.
Nice to meet you, Mekhai.
Nice to meet you. So,
hmm
I just wanted to say your film was beautiful. I really,
Oh,
really
thank
enjoyed
you.
it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And it felt like it was a very authentic showcase of vulnerability and sort of
hmm
feeling like you're the person that doesn't quite fit in a space where you should.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was really to ask you about like how was that born? What made you write Drea?
Well, Drea actually does come from a really personal space, place for me. But really, it was a place of at the time when I was dealing with a lot of grief and I was
Mhm.
losing a family member of mine. I was really not sure how I wanted to present the work or like really wanted to move artistically in that space. And this opportunity presented itself to me via Newfest Film Festival and Concord Originals. They were doing the sound and scene program basically to build this movie around a series of songs that they had the rights to, one of which being God Bless the Child by Billie Holiday. And I didn't think I had it in me to create anything in that moment. And then, yeah, I was grieving a family member of mine, and I knew that person would not want me to sort of sit and wallow in that grief, but sort of make something out of it, transmutate that into something that could be cathartic, that could be healing, that could be, universal for a group of people, especially since I had been dealing with grief in a multitude of ways that year in particular. So yeah, I sort of brought ideas I was having for features and other things into just this one thing. And God Bless the Child was such a ideal song for it because it became it heralds isolation and self-sufficiency. And I wanted to sort of subvert the idea there and speak more to what it is to rely on community and how helpful and natural and necessary community can be in grief and isolation and in just coming to terms with your emotional state. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear. I particularly loved the line near the end about the fire in you and letting
Mm-hmm.
don't let it die and let it sort of drive you in your passion.
Sure. Yeah, it's actually something my dad has said to me before. That was fully from his mouth. It's so interesting because that again, Dre is a very personal character to me. It's somebody that is completely based on me and has Angel Theory's performance really shaped how she's represented on film. Um, but that story is mine. My father's behind bars, and it's a conversation I've had with him in the past, and we're not as distant or estranged as Drea and Samuel are. But when I do speak to him, it's like speaking to a stranger. Sometimes we're getting to a better place in our relationship. It's like speaking to someone who I know of, but I don't really know. And it's interesting that that relationship is, or that person is kind of the reason I'm alive. And so we speak a lot on the phone and stuff. And that's one of the things he told me one time when I was first getting into the arts and,
Mhm.
wanting to work and things like that. He made that really apparent to me that like whatever you want to do is you're not just doing it for you. You can't just rely on your own sort of or it's really a selfish place to be. Like your community is here, your love is here. So, you know, maintain that fire
Mhm.
essentially so that you can continue to, produce and give to, that's really what gets him up in the morning, knowing that I'm out here making something for myself, like he's done something right in his life of mistakes and trials. So yeah.
That's it's really beautiful. And you spoke about the music with Billie Holiday's music,
hmm
how music and poetry is a really big identity and connection
Yeah.
between the two,
Yeah.
particularly coming together at the end.
hmm
When you were writing it, was there other songs or poems that you really were thinking about heavily when you were writing it?
No, no. God Bless the Child was really the
Really?
one. And it
Mhm.
was about poets rather than poems in particular. I love Ntozake Shange. I'm a fan of Audre Lorde. And it's interesting that the character ended up becoming a poet because I don't know many, like personally.
Mhm.
And I would never uh, describe myself as a poet. Maybe my work can be poetic, but I wouldn't say like I'm a poet. Um, and really the choice was there because I'm a writer and I wanted the character to sort of like be a writer. You know what I mean? It wasn't one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, this poem sort of really inspired the piece. You know what I mean? Um, but it ended up being a really beautiful aspect of it to me. I really enjoyed how it sort of like traveled from page to production to post, and now here we are with the movie doing its thing. Um, so yeah, yeah, it was really always God Bless the Child. That
Mhm.
was the song, that was the thing we were
Beautiful.
doing. And everything was sort of ilked from that. That was really the North Star. Oh, and actually, there was a song. I was in a production of The Color Purple years ago,
Mhm.
and in that production, there's a song called "Somebody Gonna Love You," and usually, it's sung with a whole full band orchestration, just like the rest of the show is. But in the revival, they did it where Cynthia Erivo is playing the role, and she's singing this one a cappella moment, like this tiny moment to her baby girl, and the entire ensemble behind her sort of sings this a cappella orchestration. Like they essentially hum the 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 backing for her, like the vocal backing. And I was really inspired by that for the God Bless the Child cover that my friend Lauren did, Low Steel. I had her listen to that and I was like, you're gonna sing it like Billie Holiday, but everything behind should feel a cappella. It should be there should be no instruments, just voices, just
Yeah.
vocals, backing this moment. And so yeah, that would be another song that was part of the inspiration process. Definitely Color Purple and Cynthia Erivo and that entire cast.
Yeah. Was there a
Mhm.
particular moment in the process of making this film, like on set filming it, that you really felt like this is where it's coming together? You really saw what's in your mind and on your paper coming together. Yeah.
Absolutely. There were a few moments, but one in particular, and one that was my favorite, was that final scene with Drea and Samuel. We're in the bedroom, and it was the last day, and everybody's tired. We've been going for a few days at that point, and we were running out of time. Um, but we were in that bedroom, and they started signing to each other. And obviously, in real life, you don't have subtitles. So most of the crew and most of the team didn't really know what they were saying, right? Yet, I get emotional thinking about it a little bit,
Yeah.
but we're watching Biko do his coverage, Samuel do his coverage, and my second AC or my first AC is looking at monitor, and he's like dabbing his eyes, and he has no idea what this man is saying, what he's signing. And then, one of the PAs is doing boom op, and she's like having to like kind of like this because she's crying, like she's
Yeah.
wiping her eyes and stuff. And it was a really beautiful moment. And after we called cut, that was the first time we kind of had gone through the whole scene. Um, Everyone's coming up to me and they're like, that was really beautiful. Like, I'm crying, blah, blah, blah. We're like all emotional. And that's kind of the moment when I was like, I think this film is going to work because they don't even know what he's saying yet. And that's what's important. But the actors were just so in it. They were so committed and they were giving. And yeah, it was that moment when I was like, okay, straight off of picture, off of emotive quality,
Mhm.
it was already making sense to them. So yeah.
Yeah. It was a very powerful scene that I could
Yeah.
imagine the atmosphere on set filming that must have been
Yeah. It
goosebumps.
was it
All
was
that.
a yes, absolutely up your arm. Like it was
Yeah.
just a really beautiful, beautiful moment. And I was so grateful because you can write something and hope that it translates to the screen, you
Yeah.
know. And often when you're shooting, you can't really tell, or your crew's not really responsive because they do this all the time. They're always shooting something. So that was a really signature moment, or significant moment when I was like, this is working. This is working. So that's when I was happy with what we had gotten, especially having to cut so much. We were rushing, running low on time. That was a moment I was like, okay, I think we've got something here.
Yeah. I don't know if you
Yeah.
use Letterboxd at all, but I was
Hmm.
on,
Hmm.
yeah, looking at your film, and I don't know if you've seen it, but there is a review from someone
Hmm.
called Misha, and she said, I just wanted to tell you because she says,
Okay.
it was her favorite short that she saw at Chicago International Film Festival, but
Mm.
she was too nervous
Hmm.
to come up and talk to you about it. And she hopes that
Oh,
you see it in that review someday. So I just thought I'd pass that
okay.
along to you that
Thank you so much.
this
Yeah, I'm
film
so
has
glad you
really
said that.
touched a lot of people and it was really
Mm.
beautiful.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really happy about that. I think that's the thing that really makes me the most proud of it is that
Mhm.
when folks watch it, they see me, they see my heart, but they also see a reflection of themselves in it, and that
Yeah.
we feel more connected in that way. And I
Mhm.
really, really enjoy that. I really do, because you can't always get that off first glance, off first meeting with someone, and that's the really beautiful power of art. In that, when someone creates something, you get to see a piece of themselves or a piece of their heart in
Yeah.
that, and that's a really really, really gorgeous thing.
Yeah. Well, it's been really lovely to get to talk to you about the film for a little today.
You too, you too.
And
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to see your next work.
Me too.
Whenever that crosses my path, I'm looking
Yes.
forward
Yeah.
to it.
Hmm.
So I hope you have a
Thank you
good
so
rest of your
much.
day.
You too. You too. We'll speak soon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.